welcome to episode 564 of the MTG Goldfish podcast. I'm Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and we have the full crew here this week, kicking things off with the owner of MTG Goldfish, Richard. How's it going this fine Monday, Richard?
Good morning, Seth. Doing well. Last podcast on the road, then I get to return to normal time.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, the middle of the night podcasting, I imagine, would get a little old after a while, but and we have another co-hosted, Cram. Good morning, Cram. How you doing today?
Good morning. Pretty much, I'm having a great morning. Actually, I had a good fantasy football win, and the Broncos won. So, like, yeah. By the way,
how does that keep happening, Crim? I don't understand how that keeps happening.
I'm not complaining. I will always be
wouldn't
very
either.
happy about it. Shutting down a 2-point thing is like always nice because I didn't think that was going to happen. And so yeah, I'm just happy to turn my 0-5 fantasy football team, aka Buff Man Auto Battler, into a 7-6 team.
Wow, the comeback is
Yeah,
on.
we're so in. My Buff Man Auto Battler team is going crazy.
You know what? I never thought, but he's right. Fantasy football's just an auto battler.
It is, dude.
Basically is.
It is. For those that don't care about sports, fantasy and anything is just a spreadsheet simulator. That's really all it is.
It pretty much is. Anyway, today we're going to be jumping around a bit. We have a bunch of little topics to get through. We got weird Secret Lair news, Buy a Box promo news, some limited news about Avatar Worlds is coming up this weekend, some new promos, some standard stuff. So we're going to be all over the place. But before we get into all that, a reminder that today's show is brought to you by Card Conduit, and Card Conduit's the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. If you ever get tired of the hassles of buy listing, you can skip in with Card Conduit. You can use your curated service fee, sending as many cards as you want with a buy list value of $1 or more, and pay just a 5% service fee. And if you want to do a bit of work, you can use your sorted service where you list and sort your cards in advance and pay just a 2% fee. Either way, you're going to get a detailed report with the results in a fast payment once your order is processed. And you can even get another 10% off by heading over to cardconduit.com/MTGGoldfish. Card Conduit, it's the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. Today's show is also brought to you by Heavy Play, advanced gaming equipment. The ETB playmat features a unique folding design, allowing you to fit it in a standard laptop bag. It's available in a wide variety of colors and also with original art. Equipmags lets you snap all your gear onto the playmat to move between rounds. Not that you're going to need it, because you're going to be sitting at table 1 all night. So head over to heavyplay.com/MTGGoldfish or use the code MTGGoldfish at checkout to save 10%. So thank you to our sponsors for supporting the show. And let's talk some Magic. And let's start with what I think is the most interesting news of the week, because this is something that has literally never happened before, as far as I can tell, in Magic's history, which is this week, Wizards posted an article titled Back to the Drawing Board with Secret Lair X Monster Hunter. So I think last week we were talking about the Monster Hunter Secret Lair drop. Krim, I know you were talking about some of the issues with the drop, how you kind of liked it in some ways, but there were things that definitely could have been better with some of the character selection and not really fitting the flavor. And it sounds like Wizards listened to that, because this article basically said, we're delaying the entire drop. We're going back to the drawing board. We're going to start over, do the entire thing again, and we'll let you know more about it in 2026. What do you guys make of this? Is this Wizards actually just listening to community feedback and being like, wow, these people, the community really didn't like this layer drop. We can make it better for them. Or could something else be going on with this situation?
I personally do not. Okay, so there's speculation that this is Capcom stepping in, saying that, hey, we've seen the community response and the typo, and we want it redone. And look, I don't care which one of these two are doing it and which one's at the helm of this. All I care about is that I think Monster Hunter deserves more love and the respect as a franchise that it is. And if this is what that means, I am so damn happy. If it means that Capcom has to step in to make it so that, hey, we want this redone, or I don't care which way it's done. I just think Monster Hunter is such a deep franchise and needs the love. And now I'm happy that it gets it. This is such a big thing because I didn't think they could do this. I didn't think they would do this. So this is awesome.
It should make the lair drops better. Richard, what do you think? Is this just the goodness of their hearts trying to make their cards a little bit better for all the lovely Magic players out there?
No. We've had so many trash Secret Lairs. There's no quality standard, right? It's definitely Capcom was not happy about it. and Wizards is doing something to fix it. And my guess is there's more Capcom Secret Lairs down the pipe, such that Wizards is like,
Resident Evil.
throwing it all in to fix it, right? But it's to me, it's a sad day. Like I don't like giving in to the internet mob like this. Like it's okay. People get mad. You release mediocre layers all the time. Like like
No.
why? Where was the uproar for the arcane secret lair? Remember that travesty? Remember how
Sure.
hyped we were when we heard about it, and then we saw that? It's like whatever. The Office, whatever. There's all kinds of like mediocre secret lairs. The typo, I'm sure it could have been fixed, right? Like that was just a spoiler image. When they go to print, they'll fix it for reals, right? But I don't know, man. Like, we have so many bad secret lairs. Just someone should just put a tier list ranking of like bad flavor secret lairs, and I'm sure like Monster Hunter is not at the bottom of that. So
I
Capcom just got squirrely,
wait.
and then Wizards listened, right? Like that's totally it, right?
Dude, no. The Monster Hunter one is bad, dude. Like, I think it is really bad flavor-wise. Like, it
But
made
for sure,
0
before
sense.
Wizards even previewed it, they showed it to Capcom, and Capcom was like, "Yeah, bro, great," right? And then they released it. They're like, "Oh, what are all these like terrible Reddit comments? Pull it," right? Like, for
Yeah.
sure that happened, right? So that's just Capcom knee-jerking to the very vocal Magic the Gathering community. Which Wizards has dealt with this forever. They don't just ignore them, right? Just point to our marketing data that no one has ever seen, and we'll call it good, right?
I-
So,
I think it's gotta be Capcom, because I kind of agree with Richard that we've had some pretty lackluster secret lairs, and we've had some pretty big freakouts about secret lairs. Like, if it really was Wizards, there was so much pushback from the community that they're gonna actually redo the entire thing. I would have to think something like the Walking Dead secret lair drop. Like, that's a secret lair drop that got the most pushback that I can remember from the community. So it's hard for me to see Wizards actually just changing course because of bad community feedback. It is good that they did change course, and I'm excited for all the Monster Hunter fans out there that now I expect these to be like the greatest secret lair drops of all time, because Wizards can't risk failing again. So
We gotta
we're
go
gonna get
back
like
again.
Black
Super
Lotus
juiced.
and Ancient Gold Dragon, and it's just gonna be like, not literally Black Lotus, but it's gonna be just like all the valuable cards, all like the best possible, because they already messed it up once. On the other end, it's pretty embarrassing to be like, we love Monster Hunter, we're huge fans of the show, and make secret lair drops so bad that you have to do them all over again. Because this
That's
was
why
like
you
2
can't do it.
days.
You can't admit failure. You punt and just keep playing.
But
as
that's
if you didn't
good. It's a good thing to admit failure,
You
right?
double
Like, I think-
down on the punt, guys.
No,
I-
you never double down on that. Come on.
I think it is a good thing, although I do worry that this sends the message that if you complain enough about secret lair drops, you can make them better. So I think we might be in for even more complaining about secret lair drops, because this does very much say it'll work, right? If you yell at us enough and tell us we're bad enough at making these secret lair drops, guess what? Maybe we'll put better cards in them next time. So I do worry a little bit
Well,
about the messaging part of it.
I think it also comes from the fact that I think they expect Magic players to always complain, but when it's the Monster Hunter fans that are complaining, that's when it's like probably more of a thing, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
if the whole point of this is to be bring in the Monster Hunter fans, they're like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Then that's kind of rough, right? And on top of that, I wonder, okay, what are the odds of this now? We know they're going back to redraw it, right? What are the odds that we get mechanically unique cards?
Probably. I think it's
Zero.
possible. That seems possible. You think so, Richard?
I think so. I hope they don't reuse the art, because that will be embarrassing. They gotta get new art, which seems weird.
But the art was so
But
good.
they gotta juice it up somehow, right? And it's gotta be mechanically unique, so people can't complain about reprint value and stuff. It's like, oh, it's a brand new card, even though it sucks, it can be worth anything, right? So I think they're gonna juice it just so they don't have egg on their face twice. Like, they can't risk that, right? So they
No,
gotta juice
yeah.
it up a little.
You gotta
That's
make
gotta
sure
be
it's good this
better.
time.
I like that personally, because, and the reason why, to elaborate, is because I made a comment last week's podcast about like, the PlayStation drops, right? And I'm comparing to this, and my issue with like how PlayStation got what they got is because PlayStation got a bunch of mechanically unique cards, and here's another video game franchise that I think is that is deserving of mechanically unique cards as well. So hopefully they go back and give us real Monster Hunter cards. I don't care about the art. I like the art.
Yeah, yeah, I think the art, like, seemed like it was well received. People didn't really like how it matched the cards all the time. I was talking to people on social media about this, and I came away from it feeling like making secret lair drops that make everyone happy is kind of impossible because half the people were like, the problem with the secret lair drop is all the cards suck. They put all these 25-cent cards in there and there's no value in there. And then the other half of the people were like, these cards don't match up with Monster Hunter characters, like Dual Blade Hunter. Why is that a Grand Abolisher? It should be something with Double Strike. And I'm like, you can't do both, right? Like you could make Dual Blade Hunter something with Double Strike, but then it's probably not going to be worth $10 like Grand Abolisher, and you're going to have another 25-cent card that people are complaining about the value, or you can print a $10 card like Grand Abolisher, but it doesn't match the flavor well enough. So it actually seems really difficult to like take other IPs and put them onto existing Magic cards, which I guess is maybe another vote for just making unique cards, because then you can make the flavor however you want. It can match as perfectly as you want. So I imagine that's probably the direction they go. I wouldn't be surprised if they reuse the art, but I do expect that they're probably going to make at least some unique cards. And then some of the monsters are like, are they dragons, Krim? I didn't play Monster Hunter. Some of them look pretty dragony to me. Like if you took whatever, some of these
Arathalos is a dragon, right?
Yeah.
So you like, yeah.
So if you took some of those, like Arathalos, and instead of being Dracuseth, had it be Ancient Gold Dragon or something, no one's going to be complaining, right? Because you're getting a $70 card in your lair drop. So I think they might do something like that too. No, I see
They're
Richard
both
shaking his
why
head.
it would
it's
be
the same flavor. You just want the money. You just if it was Psych Rift, if it was Ancient Copper Dragon, people wouldn't complain as much, right? But
Yeah.
were the complaints actually that bad though? Like I wasn't like super into the online discourse. Most people were just kind of like, it's not doing it for me, but it wasn't like Spider-Man level complaints. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh my goodness, like look at all this bad feedback. It was just like, I'm a Monster Hunter fan and it's kind of meh and like like it seemed pretty mild to me for Capcom to have such a like huge reaction to it. So like was there like more feedback that I wasn't aware of, or
Spider-Man fans liked Spider-Man though. Like comic book fans, like actual comic book fans enjoyed Spider-Man, right? But then Monster Hunter fans did not.
We're going
like
by internet mob.
Yeah, but like internet mob, it's like, okay, everyone's always mad, right? Like everybody wants a reason to be mad. But Monster Hunter fans were also mad about this. So now you just have everybody's mad. There's no good card selection, and it's not even flavorful. So like it kind of just seemed like an entire miss all around.
And maybe that's the difference, is maybe it was the Monster Hunter fans. I didn't go to like the Monster Hunter Reddit to see what their community was saying. From the Magic community, it just seemed like meh to me. Like, yeah, it wasn't a great secret lair drop, but I think there's so many lair drops in after like the Lord of the Rings drop with like 3 20-cent uncommons in it or whatever. Like I've come to grips with the fact that not all of them are going to have great cards in them. That's kind of like the whole gimmick of secret lair drops. But if it was Monster Hunter fans that were upset, maybe that was what got through to Wizards, or probably to Capcom, to Wizards,
right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine it's hard for me to see Wizards doing this without Capcom telling them, like, come on, guys, you gotta improve this. And the spelling error, if that was on the printed card, I could see that actually being a pretty big deal with Capcom, because like doing a crossover and then misspelling one of the other IPs, like, was it a location? I think it was like a city
it's a
or something.
it's
They,
the
like,
location from the first game.
yeah, and just like straight up misspelling the name is like that is kind of bad, right?
Yeah, and they didn't even include, so imagine like how chocobos, imagine if they made Final Fantasy and there were no chocobos. Okay, so I'm sure the Final Fantasy fans would be very upset, and that is what palicos
Wait,
are.
what do they want? The cat people?
Yeah, the palicos. They are like a staple of that. If it's not that, it's the Rathalos, specifically the big red dragon. Obviously, there's different variations of Rathalai. I don't know what the plural of this is, but Rathalos. And like, so I think they just really missed the mark, and they didn't represent the classes. I'm just happy they're doing it.
Now I need to like find the Office subreddit and see if there's complaints about why is Dwight Kenrith?
Yeah.
They kind of missed the mark. Like,
Because
I don't know, man. We don't put the scrutiny on anything else. It's just whoever owns the Office doesn't care about anything. They don't read the Reddit threads. So they're like, yeah, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas Capcom like is actually reading it. But if most IP readers or holders read the comments, everyone would be outraged, because Magic players love complaining about everything, right? And there's always the nitpicky people in fandoms that complain about everything. So I don't know. This sets a very interesting precedent going forward, right? Because now when you partner with I don't know, Paramount or whatever, and they're like, look, the reception to Capcom was not good, and you guys redid the lair. I expect you to redo our lair when the reception is bad as well, right? And then they'll pull up the metrics. Here's like 8,000 Reddit threads of people saying it's mid, right? So it's just bad precedent, I think, right? Like I don't know. We'll see how Magic handles this because it goes against Chris Cox's thing of like we can get any IP holder we want, right? It sounded like they had all the power, but now they're just like bending the knee to Capcom like immediately, right? So I'm like, oh, right?
It makes me think that there must be, like you said earlier, more to their relationship, right? And there's more lair drops or even full sets maybe for something in the future that they're working on, so they care about like maintaining that relationship. I imagine if it was a one-off, maybe they'd be more likely to be like, whatever, sorry Capcom, you're gonna have to deal with it. So it makes me think, I don't know if it's gonna be what, Street Fighter. We already got a lair drop of Street
We
Fighter,
already have
Resident
Street Fighter.
Evil, like
Seth, thank you. Please put that into the ether. Let it be Resident Evil. Oh my god. Oh my god, I would lose my
You
patties.
just had Duskborn. It's too soon.
Mega Man?
It
Mega
should have
Man's
been with
Capcom, right?
Duskborn. Oh, I was so mad.
Anyway, let's move on. Actually, one last question, then let's move on. Any chance that this leads to a full set of Monster Hunter? Because that's the other thing I've heard people say is this is such a big world that it could do a full set. Is there any way this reworking ends up with like, oh, in 2027, instead of the Secret Lair drop, we're gonna give you a full set, or 2028, we're gonna give you a full set of Monster Hunter?
This is such an easy set. Like right there, like so many things within itself. Like you could get real fancy with equipments. You could make it so the equipment checks what it's equipped to represent. I like you have the enchantments for classes. You have all the different monsters. You could just have all the spells and things be mechanics of a fight. Oh man, come on, this is easy. Like honestly, like you could design without even thinking about it. Like this would be like 220 cards.
Wow.
I think this is an easy 220
Please,
cards.
no. Remember the last time we worked something from a small set to a larger set?
Ooh,
Spider-Man,
yeah.
right? Now we're going to take a Secret Lair drop and turn it into a full, like, please, like 5 years down the line, okay, but like don't rework one to appease Capcom and have like the most terrible thing you've ever seen, right?
I do not want a Secret Lair to become oh, well, actually, Secret Lair, let's just turn these 5 cards into a set. No. I want a full set designed. Let me state that again. A full set designed, top down, every way possible to be Monster Hunter. Not some
I feel like Monster Hunter's
rando,
not
let's
big
bump
enough,
it up
no?
from a value booster into a set.
I didn't know it was a
Isn't
thing.
it
Not
more
that that's
Japanese
surprising,
leaning?
but,
Like,
yeah.
what is Monster Hunter in 2025? Like, back in the day, it was like more of a Japanese following, right? And it was more niche over here.
Well,
Has it changed? Are
you
we
have a
more
lot.
global now?
Monster Hunter Wilds was popping off at launch. Now, obviously, it's getting memed on now by like its poor performance on computers because it's like super suboptimal because it's like blows up your computer if you try to play it. But but when you actually ignore that, and if you can play the game, oh my god, it's so good. I think it is a very good game. And same with Rise and World and all of that. So, and you have now Monster Hunter splitting into Monster Hunter Stories. 1, 2, and 3 is on its way out. So you get a little bit of the JRPG side. You get the cool, fun, just boss battle, grind sim where you just sit for years with friends getting armor. Like there's a lot of fun. And I think that Wild's sales at launch shows that there's demand in the West.
Well, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let us know what you think about the Monster Hunter stuff in the comments. What are you hoping they do with it now? But anyway, speaking of Wizards taking things away, they announced this week that the Buy a Box promotional cards going away with Lorwyn equips. This is the last Buy a Box promo. We've had Buy a Box promos for a while now, and there's been ups and downs. Sometimes they're Nexus of Fate, and it goes really poorly. Sometimes they're just random like reprints, and it's fine. What do you guys think of this? Like, does this matter? And is it necessary? Like, I'm not sure if I think that Buy a Box promos really matter that much, but it does kind of feel a little bad because it's just like taking something away on top of like increasing prices with Lorwyn Eclipse and getting rid of like that weird sample collector booster pack and commander precons with Lorwyn Eclipse. Now we're also getting rid of Buy a Box promos. What do you guys think of that? Good change, bad change? Does anyone care?
First off, I as someone who buys mostly singles, I don't really ever get to partake in getting the buy box promo outside of just buying it itself, right?
Yeah.
But even with that in mind, I think this is why. Why are you taking this away? This makes zero sense. You've already gone down packs, and now you're going
Yeah.
down the buy box promo. This makes no sense why you would remove this. And on top of that, I'm going to just take this quick second. Did you know they're taking away like the pre-release stamped cards? Like
Jeez.
that's going away, and I'm like, wait, I already didn't like that we went to just the 2025, the year approach. I like the time, date, month. Like I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that stamp from pre-releases. So while we're here, why did that go away? Those all should come back. Leave the buy a
Oh, we
box
have so
promo.
much.
It
Okay,
feels
okay,
so
wait. Pre-release
penny
has to
pinchy.
go. It's such a waste of time to put a stamp of like nothingness, right? And then it's
No.
like, okay, every card has like 8,000 versions because of the stupid pre-release stamp, and then the Planeswalker stamp thing. They're all the same card. It's the same art. It's just a little thing. It's for like the tryhards that need to bling out an uncommon, right? And there's like no,
Yeah.
there's no like baller uncommon card, so they gotta go get the pre-release stamp, right? But it's such a waste of printing power and cardboard. Like, yes, some people love it and it's been part of Magic, but like 99.9% of people just gloss over it, and it's the same card as the normal card, right?
No, it
Oftentimes it's
plays
cheaper
better in
because
here.
no one wants the stupid no one wants
Richard,
the
it
stamp
plays-
obscuring the art.
I
That's
will
so
say
sick.
from the perspective of someone like running a website about Magic or a store trying to sell Magic cards, I feel like limiting the number of versions is probably a positive. It's already gotten like so ridiculous to try to catalog Magic cards that I feel like maybe losing the stamp is not a big deal. What about the buy a box promo though, Richard? Like that's just penny pinching, right? Why is this just a way to save $10 like or something for
Did you
Hasbro?
even
Like
get to buy a box if you buy on Amazon or something? This is like a way to support your LGS, right? Because you
If
only
you
get
do,
it.
it's bent like diagonally in half.
Yeah.
I feel it's redundant to like I'm a wizard shield today. I feel it's redundant, right? Aside from the fact of you taking away something you previously gave, it's a normal bordered card, right? It's not like it's a special treatment that looks exceptional, right? Like if like for example, the Infinity Stone, like if they gave that treatment to your buy a box promo, you're like, oh, there's a point to it, right? But it's just a normal card, oftentimes of zero value aside from Nexus of Fate, right? So it's just this extra thing that doesn't add anything, but like mechanically you gotta like print these things, you gotta like distribute them, you gotta do all this extra stuff where people really just want the chase surge foil in the box or whatever, or like the actual chase cards of the set, right? The showcase treatments and stuff like that. So I'm all for keeping the buy a box promo, but they need to make them unique. Like they need to give them like the
Wait, like,
special treatment. They need to
mechanically
make them
unique?
like a high value card. No, like
Oh, okay,
like
it's
Like a
the
secret
just-
layer
treatments.
treatment type
Okay,
thing or
okay,
Like a
something.
secret lair
yeah.
treatment, right? Then you're like, oh, I'm excited to get this. Otherwise, it's like, okay, it's just some card and it comes in this specific distribution channel, so it's gonna be worth this much. Usually 0 because usually they're not playable. And then, like, what's the point, right? So, again, I understand people are set because they're taking away something they previously gave, but they gave nothing and it cost them a lot of money and effort to make it work, right? So you might as well just streamline it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of sucks that they keep taking stuff away from us.
I don't
It-
know about
yeah,
that, dude. The Spidey Sense promo with half Peter and half Peter, like the Spider-Man mask, that artwork, that's cool, right?
Although
I
mean,
like that.
it's fine, although it's still like a 90. I was just looking on TCG Player, like scrolling through all the buy a box promos, and it is like a 99-cent card. Like there isn't a lot of value here. Like for someone who buys boxes, it's a nice little bonus, but it's not usually a very big incentive to buy a box. It's not like you're getting this $50 card that really changes the math, especially if you're buying an $800 collector booster box and you're getting a $5 card. It really doesn't make a difference. So I feel like they could have improved it and made it more of an incentive to buy a box. It just feels bad because it feels like something that we did have is getting taken away. Like, so I think that's the part that feels bad. Although I'd be surprised if it actually had like a huge impact on how many boxes people buy, which I guess is probably the bet that Wizards is making, is that this doesn't actually really matter in the long run, but it's still a little sad. But hopefully the one from
Like
Lord
the
Eclipse is
stamps
sweet at least.
with the time and date
like
that like, right,
I mean,
guys?
didn't they go through?
Come on!
I'm
Didn't they go through an
gonna
era?
buy you a stamp, Krim.
Yes.
Like, you can pretend you drafted at the Pro Tour too. I'll give you the stamp with like the purple heart and the shoe or whatever. You could have been a top 8 player at the Pro Tour. We can put all kinds of crap on your cards if you want.
Speaking of promos, we got our 2026 MagicCon promo. I don't know if you guys saw this card. I don't know what to think. It's Wayfarer's Bauble, which is a playable commander card. In the art, if you're listening to this podcast and not watching it on YouTube, it's like Flibblethip in loot, which in like an orb. What is the blue thing? Do you know what the blue thing in the in the promo is? Is that like the Ether Spark or something? I don't know if I love this card because it's Flibblethip or hate it because it's loot. Like, what is Wizards trying to do with this promo? Why are we mashing Flibblethip and loot onto the same card?
They're assembling the cute watch. I'm
The
just
cute
saying
wa-
it
cute
right
watch
now,
assemble.
dude. Fibblethip and Loot, gang's all here. You get, I don't know, like again, whatever the one drop might from March of the Machines. They're assembling, dude. They're assembling all the
What happened
cute
to
little
Fleam?
critters.
This
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have been a
yeah,
Fleam card.
Fleam.
It could have been
Oh
Fleam.
my god, dude! I'm just saying. I think this art is adorable, and I love how like terrifying Loot is. Like just like lurking over his shoulder, like Fibblethip's shoulder, but in a cute way, like a terrifyingly cute way.
Terrifyingly cute. I guess that does kind of describe Blue. Yeah, I mean, I have a literal Flibblethip commander deck, and I'm torn on if I'm going to put it in. Like, it fits really well because it's Flibblethip, but I can't stand Loot, so I don't know if I'd bring myself to do it. So
Alter out the loot.
that's what we were talking about on stream. Like, you know those breakup photos where someone like they break up and
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
their photos in the house where like their ex's faces burn out. I'm just gonna like burn out the face of Loot and just have Flibblethip with like a hole in the card. Anyway, that's the promo. This weekend is Worlds. We actually have Worlds this weekend. It's going to be standard and also Avatar limited. And I'm really excited for this event because this is the new form of Worlds that has like 130 players in it or something. Not the old school one where you had like 20 players and it was always a weird meta. So this is going to be our first like super high-end look at what standard looks like. Now that we have bannings, now that we have Avatar, very excited, also a little scared to see what comes out of it standard-wise. I'm also curious about Limited. I know, Richard, you've been telling me you've been playing some Avatar Limited, and you think the format's actually pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, my Avatar arc is wild, Seth. So like a month ago, I'm like, Avatar sucks. Okay, I'll watch it. Season 1.5 seasons in, I'm like, this show is crap. I'm like, I don't know why it is recommending it.
Oh,
Then I
my-
watched the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, it's like mediocre to slightly above average. It's fine, you know. And then after playing Limited for, I don't know, I've been playing for the last like 2-3 weeks, however long it's been out. I have like 200 games in. That's about a fifth of my Final Fantasy. I played 1,000 Final Fantasy games. I don't know. I was like unemployed. I don't know how I got that much, but now I am the greatest Avatar lover you've ever seen. I've read every flavor text on every card, and I'm all like, oh yes, Iroh, yes, tea leaves, yes, right? Like, oh my god. So it's magic as Chris Cox intended. I'm a huge Avatar fan now. Not off the back of the anime. The anime is still kind of eh. But from
Dude.
playing the set and the format is so good. I was so like hesitant on it from pre-release and early access, but I think it's better than Final Fantasy. I'm gonna say that. A lot of people would
Wow.
disagree. A lot of people are complaining it's too bomby, but I have trophied with like 10 different decks. Like easy, super easy, like so many archetypes, so many unique uncommons to build around. So I am super hype about Avatar. And I'm gonna watch World, Seth. I never watch
I-
Magic Pro coverage, but I just want to see what the pros are cooking. You know, I want to see what they're doing in Limited, not Standard, of
Yeah.
course. I don't care about Badger Mole Cub. I want to see what's going on in Limited. So it's a great format. People should try it.
I've heard good reviews from people. Like, I have heard some people complain like any set, but overall I feel like people are really coming around on Avatar. Actually, you're the first person I've heard say better than Final Fantasy, but it actually being like a very good format. So I think that's exciting to see them kind of nailing it. Krim, I know you're a standard player. What do you make of the standard aspect of this event? I'm a little worried that this is going to be like the breakout party of Badger Mole Cub, but do you think there's a chance that Badger Mole Cub is not actually that big of a deal, and we see something else, maybe Control or one of these Is It decks, the Boomerang Basic Is It decks or something, Demir, actually end up at the top of the format? What's your expectation for the standard part of Worlds?
I mean, I think everybody's going into this preparing for Badger Mole Cub stuff, right? So
I mean, you
that
gotta
infinite
be.
airbending. So
Yep.
now we're gonna see the real test of these cards, right? Because with people going in, there's going to be some plans to combat it. Like, I've been playing against it with control decks, and I don't know, I haven't really had any issues with them. So, but I did notice the issue with Badger Mole decks when I switched to a creature-based deck, but like, whatever. The main thing here is I'm curious to see how this meta shakes up with everyone having an eye on Badger Mole Cub and the airbending combo. In reality, I could see some humorous part where it's like control or just like is it just like comes out of
Is it
nowhere.
still?
If
It's
Is
always
It
Is It.
wins, do we just ban everything? Do we just
We need-
ban
Just
everything?
ban the
Like,
color combination. Yeah, you can't play red and blue together. It's over.
Because what are the chances, right? Like, I think kind of low. I actually think Is It's kind of low. But I just think it'd be really funny if it did.
I don't know. Have you seen like the new, I guess we're calling it Is It Prowess on the site, but it's like the Is It Self-Bounds with like Boomerang Blastics and Splash Portal and Quantum Riddler. The
Yeah.
deck actually seems pretty sweet. Like, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
gonna, it seems like the kind of deck that I could imagine the pros playing with, because you get to do all these like sneaky lines where you feel really smart about like all your decisions that you make, because you get to make all these micro decisions about bouncing your own stuff. So I could see that deck being kind of popular.
Wait,
I think Badger Mole Cubs. Oh, go ahead.
do you think because of all of this, all the things that we're talking about right now, do you think Saltai Reanimator walks in there, steals games? Because no one's gonna be playing like a ton of graveyard hate like they are right now, right?
There is a world where everyone just goes all in on defeating like Badger Mole Cub and then techs for the control decks that are designed to beat Badger Mole Cub, and then
Yeah.
Reanimator just like sneaks in and living ends everyone. Like I could see that happening. That is a possibility. So yeah, I mean,
You
I'm
guys are
excited
very
to see.
hopeful.
Yeah,
We had this conversation with Vivi. Remember? We're like, oh, Vivi, it's a known quantity. Now the pros are gonna roll up their sleeves. And it was just more Vivi and then mono red. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see how it goes, right? Because you're limited. Like you have to play, I guess, Grixis colors, right? If you're not Badger Moling, like the only one. So if you're on the draw, the only 1 mana answers to the Cub come in the Grixis format. So I don't know, man. It's rough. I feel not playing creature. Well, if you're playing creatures, you're gonna play green. So I guess you're playing creatures. So I guess it's fine, right, Krim? And then if you
Yeah.
don't want to play the Badger Mole Cub, you're not playing creatures. You're playing Bounce or Reanimate or something. So maybe it all just works out. But
I think Demir midrange
that
is
card is
also a thing you
$80
can
right
play.
now. What if it wins Worlds? Is it gonna be like $1 million? Like what is the limit here, Seth?
I mean, this is already kind of pushing the top end for what we see for standard mythics. It has been seen playing older formats too, which helps. I imagine it's also very good in some commander decks, which helps. I don't think it's impossible if we see VV numbers, if this actually goes very south on us and we have a top 8 that's like 7 Badger Mole Cub decks, this could be the next like $100 standard card. I don't think it's hopefully what is going to happen. I'm rooting for it not to be, 7 Badger Mole Cub decks in the top 8, but I do think that's a possibility. My question for you guys is, would you buy Badger Mole Cub at $80? Like, let's say you want to play standard. You want to have, the option to play Badger Mole Cub decks, or maybe you're thinking of playing Yawgmoth in Modern or something. There's also been some Pioneer decks with Badger Mole Cub that have been cropping up that are kind of neat. But would you buy it at $80, or do you have that, like, the VV fear of, like, this card could end up being too good. In 6 months from now, this could be the card that they're talking about banning or something. Like, would you plunge $350 into a playset of Badger Mole Cubs right now, or would you pass because you'd be afraid that it could go wrong on you?
Isn't this the WWMD? What would Mengu do? And doesn't Mengu walk around saying buy high, never sell?
That is the Mengu way. That is true. Yeah.
There's There's no way, right? Like this card is if it wins as much as it does, this is now the next target, right? Everyone's gonna ask for bannings. People are already asking for bannings, and I'm
I've
like,
already
it's been
seen it,
like
yeah.
it's like a week. It's been a week, guys. It's been a week. Give it a
I mean,
second.
that part kind of reminds me a little bit of, like, Corey Steelcutter, which was a card that I think very quickly people were like, "Oh my god, this 2-drop is super broken." At the same time, I think Badger Mole Cub might be safer. It isn't like you can cleanly answer it with a removal spell. Unlike something like Corey Steelcutter, it is a really fast removal check, though. Like, if you do not have the removal spell on turn 2 to kill Badger Mole Cub, you're going to have a really bad turn 3, and your opponent's going to have a lot of things going on. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I do think there's some chance that it's like overhyped, but I also worry that like the meta where Badger Mole Cub is in check might not be a meta that people are especially thrilled about because it might be a bunch of crims just like doing crim stuff to keep Badger Mole Cub from popping off. And I'm not sure the average standard player is going to be excited to play against crim decks like half the time. So
Can I just say, Seth, that the latter experience that I've been having in best of 3 and best of 1 has been a lot of control mirrors already.
We're already
Already.
getting there. We're already getting there. Do you think there's a chance
That's
that's
why you gotta ban the card.
Yeah.
Right? It makes the meta terrible, right? Like, you already see the Reddit threads, like, this was my opponent's turn 3. And it's like some like commander looking board, right?
10
Like, you've
creatures,
reached the
yeah.
token limit, right? Like, it's you don't really want to play that, right? And we had an answer for Vivi, remember? It was called Mono Red. That can
Yeah.
also kill you on turn 3, 4. And like, no one wanted to play against that, right? So are we back to like literal win conless control here? Like, do we want to play this? Is this where we want to be? So it's too meta warping, I feel. Like, even if it's quote unquote okay, I feel that's not, you go to your local F&M, you're like, I'm gonna play standard, and then your opponent busts out their $400 of Badger Mole Cubs, and then you get like steamrolled 2 minutes into the match. You're like, okay, now what? Like, it's just not the standard experience, right? So I don't know. So we'll see how it shakes up, but there's a world where it's perfectly balanced, but no one wants to play the format, right? Because
Yeah.
it's too high variance. Like, what are you gonna go Mulder 5 for your removal? Like, what are you gonna do Mulder 4? Like, you just like pray they don't have the cub. Like, it's a game of like, do you have the cub? Do I have the removal? So it's just not that fun. So we'll see how it shakes up, but I don't think you ever want to buy this, right? Because if 7 of 8 decks are Badger Mole Cubs, causing the price to be $100, it's gonna get banned. So why would you do this unless you had an RCQ or some event, right? So the best is Wizards declares they're gonna look at Badger Mole Cub in 4 months, effectively killing standard again for the next 4 months, and then not to buy it. Like, oh, this is just so bad. Like, we're in VV territory, I think, right? So, and the only things that beat it will be even more degenerate. Like, that's the problem,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's
Yeah.
so fast that the answers to it will be even more degenerate. So it doesn't
well,
look good.
I
Seth,
remember. Oh, go ahead, Grip.
should I just like what I gotta do now is because Richard's right. All the Reddit threads. Oh my god, my opponent shouldn't be able to do this on turn 3. Should I then quote you and then post a photo of like what is everybody talking about? It's just an empty board. Because like I think
No, the next thread is I've been in a 50-minute game with this Asian Avenger guy. He still hasn't killed me. Like, is this a normal match of Magic the Gathering? Like,
I think this format's fun. I really like this one. I mean.
I'm enjoying standard. I do worry that Badger Mole Cub is going to end up being like a kind of a problematic card in the future. One thing I wanted to ask you about standard, because one thing people keep bringing up, and I'm curious what you think of this, is the issue with standard is the removal's got to be better. It's got to be better. We need better removal in standard. Do you think that is true that standard needs better removal? Like, would Fatal Push make standard better, or Lightning Bolt, or Swords to Plowshares? Like, is that where we're at now? Is like, should we be bringing back some of these like greatest of all time style interactive spells because threats are just so good? Or would something like Swords, or I guess Bolt's a little scary because it hits face, but like, would something like Swords still actually be too good for standard with our current power levels? Like, what do you guys think of the standard just needs better removal argument?
As the control player, I absolutely despise Tyvar because he's the only one that can get indestructible. He is the only thing that gives me a problem in that whole deck. So yes, the control player says, "Yeah, give me swords." In reality, we were just complaining about cut down.
Yeah.
So I do not see a world where this is just the other half, right? Okay, people are like, "Oh my god, cut down is not allowing me to play the game." All right, those are the people complaining about when removal was too good. Now that cut down's gone, everybody's like, "Wait, I miss good removal." So this is just a never-ending loop, and this is where we get all the power crept creatures, answers, all of that. I don't think we need to get better removal right now. I think the removal right now, as it stands, is solid enough.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. What do you think, Richard?
You already ruined modern with Fatal Push. Do you need to? Do you need to ruin standard? Look, we are here because removal was too efficient, right? So now everything has to like leave two bodies, has an ETB, and snowball uncontrollably before you fire off your efficient removal spell. So I would actually like to go back to the days of like 2 mana Doomblade, only black gets it. Everyone else has like very sus conditional removal. And you can actually play like a 3 mana 4/4 that doesn't ETB and like not get laughed out of the room. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's because removal's so efficient that we have Badger Bolt come. Like we have these things that have a window to like really explode the game before the removal comes in, right? And it's too much. The format's too fast now, right? And if we give swords to plowshares, then it's all combo decks, right? It's gonna be all combo decks. It's good. Like you can't play any creature, right? Just like you
Yeah.
can't play a 4-drop like with a straight face in like modern anymore, right? Like everything just dies immediately to 1 mana, and you just lost 3 mana in the exchange, right? So we can't do it. You don't want leyline binding. You don't want fatal push, right? You don't want any of these things. You want slow, dirtily removal and then slow, dirtily threats. So you actually have time to draw your removal and take care of them, right?
I do kind of miss the era where cards like Rock's War Monk and Woolly Thoctor were like playable cards, or you can play like a 3 mana, whatever, 3/4 lifelinker. That's like an actual card that you can play. So yeah, I do kind of miss that era. I do think the
Although I
removal
do
ones.
love
Oh,
the
go ahead, go
era
ahead.
of laughing hysterically when someone played Pelucranos. And they're just like, this card is, why would you play this? Okay, I just killed it. So at the same time, please do not make removal so bad that, you know what I mean? Well, okay, please.
And I think in compared to some eras of standard in like the last decade or so, the removal right now is not that bad. Like, yes, it's not like insane, and yes, there's some
Yeah.
really good threats right now. But we used to go through some like there was a phase when Wizards really didn't like printing interaction. I always remember the Emrakul, Little Mama Emrakul Promise End standard, where they literally there was no graveyard hate in the format. And I don't say that like exaggerating. Like there was not a card that existed in standard that could exile a card from your opponent's graveyard. So you could just like free roll into all this like graveyard stuff. So I think our interaction is way better than it has been at various points in the past. What are you playing in your like control decks,
No,
Crim,
no,
to
no.
deal with?
Flood Maw.
Oh,
You
Flood Maw.
have you
Into
have
the
1
Flood
mana
Maw, actually,
answer
still nuts.
anything.
Flood Maw's
It's
kind of
not like it's so versatile that even against control decks and creatureless decks, it still does something. Like it's the ultimate like egregious card, right? And
The
like,
blue fatal
what do you
push.
get?
Yeah.
A fish. That's the downside, right? It's like the life gain from Swords to Plowshares, right? Like a laughable downside, right?
I mean, it is funny though, because I think the stock on Into the Flood Maw is way down since the release of Avatar. Like, yes, it's still like a good card, but with Boomerang Basics, I hardly ever see Into the Flood Maw now. Like, I see Boomerang Basics constantly, but I rarely see Into the Flood Maw. But yeah, that is true. That is like 1
I mean,
mana
it got
temporarily deal
even
with
better,
anything.
Seth. You can draw a card if you use it on your own thing. It's just like more upside, but it's still 1 mana answer anything, right?
Yeah.
So when you bring in your hate piece, you bring in your high noon or whatever, it's like, okay, just flood mod, kill you, like cool, right? Like that's another problem, right? It's too versatile.
So since we're talking about bannings, I got to ask you about this. So in Modern, Amulet Titan is kind of infamous for always dodging bannings. It's been like a top tier deck in Modern for a decade now. Never really gets targeted by banning since Summer Bloom in 2016, I want to say 2015. So it's been like a decade. But now people are suddenly talking about needing to ban Amulet Titan, not because it's necessarily too good, but because it's kind of turned into eggs recently. I don't know if you've seen this. Like, the current builds of Amulet Titan are this like infinite loop with Aftermath Analyst where you go through like this really like long Nadui type loop where you'll loop all your lands from your graveyard by sacking them to Lotus Field, and then you can use the green land that copies a creature from Modern Horizons 3.
Shifting Wildwoods.
Shifting Woodlands. Yeah, Shifting
Or,
Woodlands that you can copy, and then you can Aftermath Analyst again, and you do this to make infinite mana, and eventually, after many, many iterations, you can make infinite Primeval Titans, and it takes forever, and it has tournament issues where if you're doing this during, like, turns, it's like a 30-minute long turn as you go through the loop if your opponent doesn't scoop. So you think we're going to see Amulet Titan actually eat a banning because it kind of accidentally turned itself into eggs and just got way too loopy for Wizards to let it stick around? They were actually during the RCQs last weekend comparing it to Second Sunrise, like the loopy turns, like on coverage. They were talking about how it's very similar. So do you think this will lead to Wizards actually taking action against that deck?
I hope so, because that sounds awful, right? I mean, also, it'd just be nice to take something out of Amulet, right? Because they haven't taken a banning in
Yeah.
their deck since, like, what, Summer Bloom?
Summer Bloom, yeah, and that was a long time ago now.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, you know what? Why not? And if anything, it makes everyone's lives easier. Coverage, playing, all of it, right?
Yeah,
Why not?
that is true. It does. I mean, they banned Top for that reason, right? For slowing things
Yeah.
down. They banned Eggs for slowing things down. So we do have precedent for decks being banned not because they're too good, but because they're too annoying for tournament play. But what do you think, Richard? Any shot?
Yeah, I think they'll ban the analyst, and then Titan will live on. It's one of those Nadu things, right? Where you can put this like win con in your deck, or you can remove it and do this convoluted thing, and you get like an extra few percentage points. So yeah, make them do it the old way with Valakut, right? Like Magic tournaments already have this issue of going to time. Like it's so, especially when you play new card games, it's so infuriating to play Magic because every round takes like double the amount of time it should. You know what I mean? Like you finish your match in like 25 minutes, someone's gonna take an hour, but then they go to time and then it takes another like 25 minutes or whatever. And then like the whole tournament just like bogs down, right? So anything to logistically make things faster, I think they should do because the tournament experience sucks, right? It already
Yeah.
sucks going into a sweaty hall playing for like, a million rounds. Like, let's not extend it further by having people take like extra a million years in extra turns, right? So, yeah, I think that I think a lot of Amulet players are calling for it too, right? They're just like, I don't want to do this, but because it's optimal, I got to do it,
I gotta
right?
do
So
it.
just
Yeah.
just ban it, and then they'll use the easy win con, right? That doesn't take forever.
I think I agree with that. I would vote ban Lotus Field though. I think Aftermath Analyst is more replaceable because you got Lumra and they're gonna keep printing these effects. So I think Lotus Field would be the card I would go for, but I think that might be a nice middle ground. Like you cut off the eggs loopy turns in those like 30 minutes, destroying the tournament as everyone sits and waits for you to finish your match type of stuff. But you still let Primeval Titan players play their deck, which I mean I would also be fine with them just banning Primeval Titan because I'm kind of annoyed with Primeval Titan. But I think that would be probably like the fairest banning would be to do something that gets rid of the Aftermath Analyst package, but doesn't necessarily take Titan out of the metagame altogether, because I do think there's some argument that we want decks like Titan to exist, as much as it hurts me to say
It's
that,
the
because
last
they're
deck,
actual...
Seth, from pre-Modern
Yeah,
Horizons.
That's from the old days. This is before the Modern Horizons. This is one of the only decks that still is going in Modern that existed before Modern Horizons came around. And I don't know if I want to cut that like last link as much as the deck. I don't personally like it that much, but I like that it does connect us to like the old era of Modern. So anyway, I got one more question for you guys, and I've noticed this trend, and it's been blowing my mind. So they printed this card called Longshot Rebel Bowman in the Avatar Eternal set, like the Jumpstart cards. And it's this 4-mana uncommon Reacher. This is non-creature, it's a red card. It says non-creature spells cost 1 less to cast. When you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. This card this week suddenly went up from like bulk to like $8. It was bought out in response to a YouTube short or a TikTok video that was saying that the card was going to be CDH viable, apparently for some reason. What do you make? What do you make of this? I have noticed for the last like 3 months for sure, maybe 6 months, this trend in Magic Finance of people making shorts or TikToks and weird cards that don't look very good to me getting bought out and spiking to insane levels. Is this just like the next iteration of Magic Finance? Like, I feel like TikTok and YouTube Shorts are having the biggest impact on the Magic market right now. And it actually is like really changing things. What do you make of this phenomenon, Richard? Like, is this where we're at with Magic Finance now? You just see a TikTok and buy the card?
Except, are you forgetting who the originator of the saffron olive effect is? Like, what kind of question is this?
But that was
It's
like an
some
hour-long
jank bulk
gameplay
rare
video.
shoots up, and you're like, what happened? Well, Saffron Olive made Against the Odds video about
That's
this,
true.
and then
That's
people bought it
true.
out, and then
That's
like,
true.
yeah, like
I guess
media has always
yeah.
influenced Magic prices, right? And right now, it happens to be short form content, TikToks, YouTube Shorts, but Command Zone talks about some card and like bam, it goes crazy, whatever, right? Um, how many stick? I don't know. Right? Because they all like spike up and then they all like dwindle back down to nothingness. Sometimes they actually stick though. But I wouldn't be going out and buying this card, especially an untested card in a metagame as tight as CDH. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this card is legacy playable. Like, have you actually tested it? Right? So yeah,
I
I don't know
also
this, but this isn't new. This always
Yeah,
happens, right?
I don't know why it feels
surprised
different,
CDH
but
can dictate the price of a card. No offense to CDH players. I just didn't know that like it moved like that. Like, you know
I
what I mean?
yeah, I mean, CDH does have influence, I guess. I'm surprised it moved this much, I guess. I just don't see how this card is really CDHable, but I guess that's neither here nor there, really. Like, it's like a random 4-drop, so that's the part that kind of caught me by surprise. I guess it is, like, the same thing that's been happening before, but just, like, on steroids, sort of, because it's, like, the short form content, it happens so quickly. Like, I feel like everything's just sped up compared to where it was, like, 10 years ago, but maybe that's just, like, life in general. I guess I would be cautious because as far as buying the cards myself, because I feel like it's very easy. The same with, I guess, budget Magic cards a decade ago, where like everyone rushes in and buys them out because they're hyped about it, but then 2 weeks later ends up dropping back down. So I do worry that they're long term, probably not the greatest investment in a lot of cases, but it is interesting to see just like how huge of an impact short form content is having. I know, Krim, have you spiked any cards yet? I know you've been making a bunch of shorts, right? Don't you have a channel now where you make shorts? I randomly got recommended some Krim shorts on YouTube the other day.
I do, but I don't really do finance things. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like every now and then I'll talk about cards I like, but I'm never like, this is what you need to buy 10 cards that'll spike. I don't do that, right?
But
Like it's like
yeah, most of these TikToks are not doing that either, though. They're mostly just like, hey, this card's gonna be great in CDH, or I really love this card, or here's some like sneaky commander tech that no one has realized. So I haven't seen any that really come with a financial twist to them, which is interesting. It doesn't. I don't think that's the goal, is to increase the price of the cards.
I guess I don't know. I've never really checked. I have no
Yeah.
idea what I just talk about cards I like, so I have no idea what that means. And
Mhm.
usually the last time I had anything, I spiked a card, I guess, that I hadn't owned yet. So I was like, "Oh,
Oops.
dang. Okay, well,
Oops.
well, all right. I guess I'll buy it. I do agree. It is really good. Okay." So like that would be it.
I remember I used to avoid buying any cards that I made videos of just because I didn't want people to think that there was like a financial aspect to it, or that was part of the purpose of budget Magic or anything, which is kind of funny. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's keep moving. Let's keep moving on. We got a couple fish mail today. Starting with a fish mail from @DylanHunter says, MTGGoldfish, are you guys planning to do an end-of-year podcast where you recap all your hits and misses from the past year, or two, because it's been a little while, i.e. Yarion is actually busted, Uro is a bad growth spiral, etc., etc., etc.?
Who
I
said that?
think-
Who said that? Who said that?
Yeah,
Did one of us say that?
Who
Oh,
would say something? Who would say
who
something
said
like
that?
that?
Oh man, that sounds so outlandish.
I think we'll definitely do a year-end podcast. Exactly what form it'll take, I don't know. It would be kind of fun, though, to go back and do hits and misses. It has been a little while since we've done it.
I think we should. I think we totally should. Just so I can figure out who said this.
The dirty secret of that podcast is it just the hard part is going back and finding all the clips from the past year, because we talk about Magic so much. So the hard part's like finding the Oro's a bad growth spiral clip out of the hours and hours and hours of podcasts that we've done. But it is a really fun way to do it.
Just like, knowing Circle of Loyalty's popping off. I still believe. What
Give
did
it
Richard
give
talk
it
about
time,
earlier? We're
give it
doubling
time.
down. I'm
We
quadrupling
just
down.
we just need to make a we
Wait, is
need to
this
make
still
some
legal?
shorts about it,
Is it in
Krim.
the
We need to make
format?
some shorts. We need to make some shorts. We figured it out. Circle of Loyalty, CDH, it's coming.
Yeah, it's legal in CDH, guys.
It's
I'm
legal
just
in
saying.
CDH.
It's a legal CDH.
Fish mail number 2 comes from @Inman Production. Says, who do you think gets the better end of the deal? Magic players being introduced and watching the newest IP, aka the Richards of the world watching Avatar for the first time, or the IP fans seeing their show on Magic cards and starting to play Magic? So basically, who wins? Like the Wizards or the other IP holder when it comes down to drawing eyes and attention from universes beyond sets?
I think the latter, right? Because the people who haven't played Magic and are now seeing their IPs like come to the game, they play the game, they like it, they stay, or like that. Magic players who have already played Magic know how good the game is. So and like as we're seeing here, like, oh, I know nothing about Star Trek, right? But I'm sure if they're like when the set comes out, if there's like a cool card or something, like, hey, that's great. I don't know anything about Star Trek, but I just care about cool cards. So I think the person who cares about the IP coming to the game will benefit more from an IP, and then they'll like the gameplay and they'll stay longer. So I like that. I think they benefit more. Although it is kind of sick when you just I don't know, Magic players who just like Magic get cards all the time. We know this. We all know
Yeah.
this. So getting new cards is like not anything new crazy anymore. But getting a card that you know and love from an IP you love, now that's sick.
What do you think, Richard?
I think Magic players get way more. Like, my 2 favorite sets of all time are Final Fantasy and Avatar. It would be Spider-Man if not for through the open paths or whatever garbage, right? But like if you just watched Avatar, right? And that takes you what? I don't know, like 20 hours or something for the whole thing. How much time are you going to spend playing Magic the Gathering? It takes you like 1,000 hours just to like be able to sit down at a pot of Commander and like do it correctly. You know what I mean? Like the investment into Magic is so high, whereas the investment for me to watch some Doctor Who or some Star Trek is so low, right? So I feel we get a lot more out of it, and plus we're not like getting lost in the mechanics and like the rules and stuff. I can actually just enjoy the art of the cards. You know what I mean? I can sit there and read flavor text because I'm not worried about what is it, untap, upkeep, draw, like what's an instant? Like I'm not worrying about that. I can just sit there and read flavor text. So personally, the most enjoyable sets for me are the Universes Beyond sets that I really, really like. And the Magic ones are like, okay, like, I mean, Dragonstorm, fine. Like it was okay, right? I'm sure Lorwyn Eclipse will be fine, right? The question is what happens when Star Trek happens, right? Because I'm not a big Trekkie. And I did not play Edge of Eternities because I didn't like the space theme, but will I actually watch some Star Trek like for reals and like play it? I don't know. But I will try. And like what more could like the owners of Star Trek want, right? For me to try. And it's just easy to do, right? I just put it on Netflix or whatever, put it at 2x, 4x speed. But to pick up a whole new game, to drop like $500 on a standard deck to go to F&M, that's a lot of work. And I don't know that most people would do that just to partake in their favorite IP or whatever, right?
It's fair, actually.
I want to say it's actually like kind of a win-win, and that everyone's in a weird way, except for the people who hate Universes Beyond, but everyone else is like coming out ahead in this exchange, because I know I would have never watched Avatar if it wasn't for it being a Universes Beyond set, and I actually really enjoyed Avatar, and I'm glad that I invested the time to watch that, and I never even would have thought to watch Avatar if it wasn't a Magic set. But that was a pretty easy commitment, like Richard was saying. Like, I can throw it on, watch it X2 speed when I'm going to bed at night or whatever, and just, like, watch a show that way. Getting into Magic is a much bigger commitment, financially, time-wise. But at the same time, I think a Magic player has got to be worth way more than me watching Avatar, because what am I really contributing to Avatar, whoever makes it, by just watching the show? I'm sure they get something out of me watching it on Netflix, but not that much. So yeah, I'm sure there's less people brought into Magic by the Universes Beyond because it's a bigger commitment, but each one of those people are going to be way more valuable to Wizards than me watching Avatar is to Nickelodeon or whatever. So I think everyone comes out ahead here. I think it's like actually a win-win and actually kind of a good exchange for everyone, except for the people who are just hard-nosed on Universes Beyond. Those are the only people I think that really kind of get left out in this exchange. Otherwise, I think it's just good for everyone, really. Anyway, those are fish mail for today. Richard, how do people send in fish mail for future episodes?
Hit us up at MTGGoldfish with the hashtag MTGFishmail, and we'll get to your questions on air.
And I believe that
Also-
Oh, go ahead, Grim.
Before we wrap, I just want to say, Richard, I see you with the Turbo Granny shirt. I see you. I see you with
How'd
the
you-
Dan.
how'd you even
Dan-
know it's Turbo?
I
Wow,
can't even
you
see
even-
it. Yeah.
Yeah. you-
Wow,
got
wow.
the eye.
I've been on the front of my brain. I'm like, yo, that's sick.
Talk about anime I would recommend. Avatar does not fall anywhere on that list, but Dan? Yeah, let's go.
On that note, that brings us to the end of episode 564 of the MTG Goldfish podcast. So, Richard, Grim, thanks for hanging out. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks to our sponsors for supporting the show. And we'll be back next week to talk about worlds and whatever else goes on in the world of Magic. So, until then, have an amazing week, everyone. And this is the crew signing out.